fade away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. Just can't stop thinking about you. Just can't stop thinking about you. All that I crave when you're away, nights are sleepless. Do we need space? Yeah, maybe a break. Boy, you're my weakness. Give and we take, the love that we make, it's my favorite drug. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just yeah, you always make me feel like home, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone, yeah, you're the reason I'm going out my mind. I just can't stop thinking about you.
And that's the type of stuff that happens when you're walking around. Like when you're walking around and you're experiencing places that you don't know because you're not in a car and you're not only going point A to point B. You have interactions with life that you don't have when you're protected by going at high rates of speed and enclosures with no interaction with others that don't, unless they tend to be negative because of bad driving and stuff. Whereas, you know, when you take the bus and you ride a bike and you walk places, you see things because everything's slower and you can observe more. You can hear more, see more. Well, maybe not see more, but you have deeper interactions with every part of what's going on, that's for sure. Now, between the recording and the editing of this, it's been a minute since I've actually talked to you. And I talked to the camera a lot about what was going on, about the winning and the losing and the traveling and the breaking even and all those kinds of stuff. But you know what? I didn't record much of the surrounding area. I didn't try to pull out my camera in any of the card rooms. All of the footage I tried to get in any of the casinos was relatively bad because I don't know, I just felt self-conscious and like I'm not a real vlogger, or I don't want to be an influencer or anything like that, or what those people call themselves. I'm not chasing virality. I'm trying to make what I appreciate nowadays instead of, you know, what any algorithm is trying to tell me. But the adventure pretty much went like this. While I was still staying outside of Tiffany's house and with my buddy Dan, there was a couple of times while I was waiting for parts, and for like 2 months, I traveled out to Biloxi and Pensacola. And one time I came back winning a bit of money and able to give Tiffany some money and buy some more supplies for myself. And another time I went out to Biloxi, and that's most of the clips you saw in the opening, and that's here right here. Now, when I was out at Biloxi, I immediately started off hot, and I got up like $700 when I'd only brought $600 out there to begin with. And instead of going back on the tour bus, I decided to stay for another day. To make the long story short, because I didn't record very much video of this sort of stuff, I played good the first day really well, and the next 2 days I played not to lose. And instead of playing really good poker like I did the first day, and I played not to lose, pretty much all I did was chip myself down over long periods of time.
I ended up sitting there for 2 days. I walked tons of hours. I got massive leg cramps. I realized that I was having bad shoes, and I took myself to a local place to buy some shoes. I spent $200 on shoes. I spent $700 on staying there for 3 days between food and the hotels. And then after I came back, I was pretty much up like $90 on the weekend. Whereas if I just would have left on day one, I would have been up like $700. So I spent 3 days out in Biloxi that time, and I came back basically even after spending tons of money locally. And all I thought to myself is if I would have done the exact same thing, but I wouldn't have needed to spend almost $700 on survival over 3 days being in a tourist casino town. Everything would have been, much better for me. At the same time, when I'm going to play poker, the only thing that seems to work for me is when I'm playing power poker. Because when I'm playing not to lose, I tend to just break even a whole lot. Now, I have quite literally 20 and 30 and 40 hours worth of videos that I've recorded that I have not been able to scrub through or put up or run with the ideas that I've had, because the ability to get from one place to another or to survive is so difficult in doing what I'm doing that I end up just recording tons of stuff, and I don't have time to do anything with it if I want to make another video of some sort, or if I want to be able to eat or move from one place to another or make some sort of money and stuff like that. And that's the situation I keep running myself into over and over and over again. And I understand that to make any of the things in my head a reality, I need to get to a place of stability. And that's what getting out of Florida is supposed to represent. It's supposed to be me getting to a place where I have help of other people, where I can get on my own 2 feet with the help of those people. And relationships with human beings are fickle things. And sometimes relationships with human beings are ended or put on pause or stopped for unknown or unreasonable or unthought out or even bad reasons. And that happens a lot with me because I got a big mouth and I'm an opinionated person. And sometimes when I say things, I don't mean to hurt people, but I do. And people tend to hear things differently than the way I mean them, or even than the way I say them. And I am not going to put those relationships on view. I don't want to have just the whole channel be nothing but drama, because it does start to feel like I'm rolling from one drama thing to another. But I have had a reawakening. My outlook on the world has changed. My understanding of how I've been dealing with the world has changed. I understand how giant a portion my attitude and my inability to speak to people properly has played. At the same time, if I can't get to a place of stability, I can't do anything for myself, and I'm constantly needing the help of others. And I need to get to a place where I'm not needing the help of others quite so much, and I'm standing on my own 2 feet. And with that, I had the help of Clyde. Clyde absolutely smashed it out of the park. He came and helped me get from one place to another. I stayed out at his house for about a week, and then Clyde helped me drive my bus all the way up to Missouri. Now, I've known Clyde for about 20 years. Me and Clyde have done things like this for each other before. I'm totally there for him anytime he needs me, and if he can help it at all, he's always there anytime I need him. We are true blue friends, and the trip up here was absolutely fantastically fraught with one thing after another, running for a part, finding out that I didn't get an air filter for the engine, and the engine wasn't wanting to start because of the air filter. There has to be a weak ground or something along the line, because the batteries wouldn't want to crank the bus more than a couple of times without them being totally juiced.
Damn, there's always something. I'm always forgetting something, right? Well, I fucked up. messed up. It got ripped off. I didn't lock it. Since I didn't lock it, it went back there. So dumb. Sheba's all mad at me. She's like, what the hell, Dad? I don't like it like this, Dad. Felix came running and scared the shit out of him. Huh, Bubba? I'm sorry. I know, Sheba. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
It was one thing after another. The power dying and us pulling into a church and stuck on the side of the road. And then we get up to Missouri and the hills are all crazy. And it was an absolute adventure. And I got none of it on video. I got zero of that on video. It's just ridiculous that in order for me to fix all of these amazing moments that I'm having, I can't record them at the same time or find the time to edit them later. But I'm telling you guys right now, if I would have had a third hand here and me and Clyde could have interacted and that person could have recorded and vice versa for the whole trip, boy, it would have been some great video of just one thing after another, but us figuring it out. In reality, the bus kept running better and better, and I understand more and more. And now, thanks to my Clyde, thanks to my sisters, thanks to Aaron, thanks to almost everybody, or thanks to everybody that you saw named in the beginning of this video, I am now in Missouri. I'm just outside of Crane, Missouri. And now a whole new set of problem